Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Shishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have seen that Atma is not Jnaya. It is not an object of knowledge, because Atma is Chaitanya Swaroopa, and Chaitanya does not become drshya. Chaitanya is always Drsta. Therefore, Atma does not become drshya, jnaya. Now, Acharya also mentioned that it does not become jnata in verse 45. So, jnatritvam or bodhritvam in Atma is only being there as existence, satta matra, not doing anything. And that is further explained through the example of sun in shloka 46 and through the example of fire in the shloka 47. Now, what is the objective here? That there are two types of drshta. There are two illuminators. One is Vikari Drsta, the illuminator which itself also undergoes modification, and the other is Avikari Drsta, the illuminator which does not undergo modification. The Vikari Drsta is nothing but Pramata, and it is also called as knower. And Avikari Drsta is Atma, which is also used, called by the term knower. So there is possibility of confusion that for Atma also the word knower or drshta is used, and for Pramata, Ahankara also the word knower or drshta is used. But the difference is Atma is Avikari Drsta and Pramata is Vikari Drsta. Both of them, they have ability to illumine. But the other difference is that Atma's drashtritvam or bodhrutvam is its original, and Pramata's bodhrutvam is borrowed. Like one is sun, Atma is like sun, and Pramata is like moon, which has borrowed illumination, and both are able to illumine. And both of them, they are referred by I also, self. In English we use the word self, or they are denoted by the letter I. Atma is capital S, self, and Pramata is self with small s. Atma is capital I, Aham, Pramata is small I. Small I means conditioned self. So in this way they are different. But for Atma, Jnata word is used. Now in the next shloka 46, the Acharya is bringing out one beautiful point. Let us see the shloka, then I will bring out that idea. Bilat sarpasya niryane Suryo yadvat prakashakah prayatnena vina tadvad jñātātmā bodharupatah. Now before we see the shloka, just some basic concept we should understand. Let us take this sentence. Krishna gramam gacchati. Krishna is going to his village. His village means Krishna is going to village. In this, Krishna is called the subject. Village is the object. And going is the action. In English, karta, the subject, karma, the object, and kriya, gacchati. Krishno gramam gacchati. In this kriya, in this action, who is performing the action? So it is very simple. Krishna is performing the action. On whom action is performed means the one who is actionless and yet becomes the result of action. The result of action means action results in attainment of the village. So village is the object which is attained, which doesn't do any action. All actions are done by Krishna, the subject. So Krishna goes to village. Village doesn't do anything. Krishna is doing the act of going. When we say Atma illumines the world, external world or internal world. So in this, Atma illumines the world. What is the subject? Atma. What is the object? The world. Internal or external? Internal means thoughts. Thoughts, emotions, whatever you want to call. And external world means object of the five elements. Pancha Bhautika Srishti. Elemental creation. And the action is of illumination. Who does the action? So in this sentence, Atma is not doing anything. Atma is just there. Whatever comes in front of Atma to become drshya, that gets illumined. So if the particular thought arises, it comes in front of Atma, then that thought gets illumined. Action was done by the thought to come and to go. Atma didn't do anything. As far as illumination is concerned, it was just there. External world. So whatever part of the world comes in front means in front of Atma along with Antakaranam, then that part of the external world gets illumined. And whatever internal world comes in front means it rises in the form of thought, then that internal world gets illumined without any effort on the part of Atma. Here in the shloka, Acharya gives one example and then he establishes this point. So the difference in other karta, other doers and Atma's illumination is that in all other cases, subject does the action and object is actionless. In case of Atma, subject is actionless, akarta, and the object does whatever action that is required. The example given here in shloka 46 is yadvat सूर्यः बिलात् सर्पस्य निर्याणे प्रकाशकः प्रयत्नेन विना. यद्वत् सूर्यः बिलात् सर्पस्य निर्याणे प्रयत्नेन विना प्रकाशकः तद्वत् ज्ञाता आत्मा बोधरूपतः प्रयत्नेन विना प्रकाशकः. प्रयत्नेन विना will be used for both. It is called Dehli Deepa Nyaya. Just as sun, without putting forth any effort, is illuminator, prakashakah, of Bilat Sarpasya Niryane, on the snake coming out from its hole. Niryana means coming out. Sarpasya Bilat Niryane, of the snake. Sun is the effortless illuminator of the snake on it exiting from the hole. Tadvat, in the same way, Jnata Atma, it being of the nature of knowledge, Bodharupatah means Bodharupatvat, Prayatnena vina prakashakah. Without any effort, it illumines the external world and internal world. Now, what is Bilat Sarpasya Niryane? You know, they have a joke in Western countries about Gujaratis speaking in English, and in particular a statement. What is that statement? If, let us say, a Gujarati says, snake is in the hole, what actually the case is, snacks are in the hall. When there are snacks kept in the hall, and if some Gujarati person announces, then his announcement will be, snakes are in the hole. So here there is a snake also and there is a hole also. So I just remember that. Okay. So no offense on any particular community, but this is just a well-known statement. If there is a snake inside its hole and sun is already shining, will the sun be able to illumine that snake when it is inside the hole? No. Because the snake does not get the illumination. So what do we say? Sun is non-illuminator or is not an illuminator of snake. Sentence. After a few minutes, the snake comes out of its hole. So, bilat niryane, from the hole on coming out, sun becomes illuminator of snake. So, earlier the sentence was, sun is non-illuminator of snake. Now sun is illuminator of snake. What did sun do different from earlier situation to next situation? Nothing. As far as sun is concerned, it didn't do anything. Snake, which is the object of illumination, was not available. Now it is available for illumination. So the action happens on the part of the object. Even though generally action should belong to the subject. But here, without performing any action, Atma gets the credit of being the subject. Another example for sun, simple example you can take. Let us say the sun is shining early morning and you are facing the east because you want to do some your Sandhya Vandanam, you want to do sun salutation, Surya Namaskara, you want to offer Arghya from Gangaji's holy water in front of sun. You know how they offer in Anjali in both palms. So you offer the water. Which part of your body is getting illumined? Front part. Because sun is shining on the front part of the body directly. After you finish all the offerings, etc., you turn around and you start moving towards west in the other direction. Now which part of your body is getting illumined? The back portion. What did sun do? Nothing. Sun is just there. Your body was facing sun earlier, so front portion was getting illumined. Now your back is towards the sun, so the back is getting illumined. Similarly, the earth also. The earth goes on rotating. Different part of the earth gets illumined. What does sun do? Nothing. In the same way, Atma also is prakashakaha prayatnena vina. Without any effort, Atma illumines everything. And it is of the nature of knowledge, consciousness. So, bodharupatvat prayatnena vina. Jnatatma, Atma which is Jnata, is actually knower without any action on its part. And because it is not doing any action, therefore it is avikari. Therefore it is not subject to modification. This is the meaning of this shloka. So, Atma's jnatritvam is not real. Means it is not jnata. It is not jnaya. This is explained. Now, in the next shloka, example of fire is taken up, and it is shown that the object is burnt by the fire, but fire also doesn't do anything. Same idea, instead of illumination, here it is the burning part on the part of fire. That is said in the next shloka, number 47. So this 47th shloka actually talks about Anvaya Vyatireka. And what is the Anvaya Vyatireka? That if there is any conditioning, upadhi, then there is jnatritva. If there is no conditioning, conditioning here means any object to illumine. So if there is any object to illumine, there is jnatritva. If there is no object to illumine, there is no jnatritva. This object to illumine is the upadhi. So upadhi sattve jnatritva sattvam. This is anvaya. Upadhi abhave jnatritva bhavaha. This is vyatireka. This is called method of presence and absence. With this presence and absence, what is established is that the knowership or knowerhood is only aupadhika. It is dependent upon some conditioning, external conditioning, in the form of presence of object or absence of object. Dagdhaiva mushnah sattayam tadvad bodhatmanisyatam satyeva yadupadhau tu jnate sarpa ivothite. Yadvat, you have to understand, Yadvat Ushnaha, Ushnaha means fire. Sattayam, Sattayam means Satta Matrena, in its existence alone. Dagdha eva. Dagdha means dahaka. You have to understand here. Dagdha shabda is for dahaka. It burns. Ushnaha means agnihi. So just as agnihi dahakaha eva, when sattayam, swasattayam, only when it is present on its own, then it becomes the burner. Tadvat, in the same way, bodhatmani ishyatam. Bodhatmani, or another reading is, which is better reading, bodhatmani ishyatam. Bodhatmani means in Bodhatma, Bodhaswarupa Atma, Chaitanya Swaroopa Atma, also you should understand this, that only in its presence it becomes the illuminator. Instead of dagdha, here dahaka, here it is bodha. And the second line of the shloka connects to the previous shloka also. Sati eva yad upadhau tu jnate sarpa ivotthite. So that Bilat Niryata Sarpa, that snake which has come out of the hole, Utthite, here Bilat Utthite, instead of Niryate, the word is given. Utthite Sarpe iva upadhau jnate sati. Upadhau jnate sati eva then you have to say Surya Prakashakah, what was there in the previous shloka again. So, Surya Prakashakah. Tadvat Atmani Bodhritvam Upadhau jnate sati eva. In the same way, in Atma also the Bodhritvam is there only when there is the presence of Upadhi which becomes known. So the fire's ability to burn is there just by its presence. Fire doesn't do any action. And there you can use this earlier point that we saw in the previous section, that fire burns all the objects, but fire doesn't burn itself. In the same way, Atma illumines all the objects, but Atma does not illumine itself. So this part is not as clear in case of sun, but in case of fire it is very clear that fire will burn everything but not itself. In the same way, Atma will illumine everything but not itself. And there is no need to illumine itself because it is Swayam Prakasha, not Swayam Prakashakaha. So, even though in the previous shloka for Suryo Yadvat Prakashakaha, that word is used, that Prakashakaha means you should understand it is only Vyapadesha Matra. That sun is illuminator of the object. In the same way, Atma is illuminator of the objects. But as far as itself is concerned, it is not Prakashakaha, it is Prakashaha, it is Prakasha Swaroopa. So fire, when it comes in contact with any object like wood, paper, cloth, anything, remaining in its own Swarupa, Satta Matrena, in its existence itself, in its sannidhi, in its proximity, it becomes the dahaka. or dagdha. Dagdha means dagdhr will be the shabda. So another point that I can explain if you are interested, and that is dagdha shabda is formed by adding the trich pratyaya. It is called trich pratyayanta rupam. Wherever the trich pratyaya comes at the end, then it becomes the doer. So here fire is the doer by remaining in its Swarupa only, in its existent nature. Dagdhri, like drashtri, shrotri, mantri, vijñatri, kartri, bhoktri, in all of them there is trich pratyaya at the end. In English, what we call as ir at the end. Seer, listener, feeler, taster, toucher, thinker. So this ER means it is doer. So fire is doer of burning without doing any action. Dagdhri, dahakah. So dagdha evam ushnaha sattayam, swasattayam. Tadvat, in the same way, Atma also is illuminator of whatever comes in its proximity. And then in the second line, it is explained that just as the snake which came out of the hole, then the action was performed by the object, snake, and that action, because of the appearance in front of the sun became the illuminator. And in the absence of that upadhi, a sun will not be the illuminator. Sun doesn't do anything, and nothing actually happens to sun, means it is avikari, and whether object is there or not, it doesn't bother sun. Like that, whether something is there to illumine or not, it does not bother Atma. So now you imagine, I am Atma, the real I. And this Swami is the object of illumination, Anatma. I am the Atma, this Swami is object of illumination, Anatma. Whether this Swami is there or not, it does not make any difference as far as Atma is concerned. So whether this Vyakti, an individual, exists or not, whether this Upadhi, conditioning, is there or not, Atma doesn't have any problem. Atma is shining irrespective of the nature of Anatma, irrespective of presence or absence of Anatma. In this way, the knowerhood, jnatritvam of Atma is aupadikam, conditional. Conditional means the conditionings come and go, Atma doesn't do anything. Having established that, the doership in Atma is also conditional only. It is based on conditioning, not based on Atma. That is said in the next shloka. Jnata yatnopi tadvajñah karta brahmakavad bhavet swarupena swayam natma jñeyo jñeyothava tatah. Jnata ayatnopi tadvaj jñah. Jñah means Atma. Yadvat you have to supply. Yadvad ayatnopi jñah ayatnopi jnata bhavet. Jñah means Atma. Just as Atma without doing any effort becomes jnata. Why? Because object came in front. Atma didn't do anything. So jñah Atma ayatnopi, without putting forth any effort, jnata bhavet, it becomes a knower. Knower means knower, seer, whatever you want to give, it is not doing anything. Avikari. Tadvat, in the same way. Jnah brahmakavat karta bhavet. In the same way, Jnah, the Atma, also becomes karta, like Brahmaka. Brahmakavat means like Brahmaka. Brahmaka, two meanings are given by commentators. One meaning of Brahmaka is sun. Another meaning of Brahmaka is magnet. Ayaskantamani it is called. Magnet. Brahmaka. Then second line. Atma swarupena swayam na jneha na agneha athava tatah. Tatah means swayam swarupena na jnata na agnyata na karta na akarta na heya na upadeya. All these things you can add. Athava means or other alternatives. So we can restrict it to na jneya na agneya, na jnata na agnyata, na karta na akarta, up to that. But you can extend it to it is neither heya nor upadeya. Etc. Okay. So first line is very clear. Atma, without putting forth any effort, is the knower. In the same way, Atma, without putting forth any effort, also becomes karta, like the sun. How? So sun, when it rises, then everybody starts acting. Everybody starts doing some or the other activity. The birds in the Badrinath caves, 3:30 in the morning, they start their activity. Now you tell me, sun has not come out, but they know that it is sunrise time now. That early in the caves, they are active. Or anywhere else also, you know, the birds, when there is mango season, early morning they start talking about the state of mangoes and how many mangoes are there and whatnot, whatever they discuss. So starting from birds and of course all animals, human beings, everybody. What did sun do? Nothing. So here the Brahmakaha actually means Pravartakaha. Like in Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, ईश्वर सर्वभूतानां हृद्देशेऽर्जुन तिष्ठति भ्रामयन् सर्वभूतानि यंत्रारूढ़ानि मायया. So भ्रामयन् सर्वभूतानि means pravartayan. Brahmayan doesn't mean deluding all beings. Only thing is putting them into action. So when Chaitanya is there, then all bodies act. So Chaitanya Paramatma is there in all beings and therefore Brahmayan. So that's why Ishvara is also Brahmaka. Surya is also, Ishvara means Atma. Surya is also Brahmaka. It just being there as if it is putting everybody to work. And Brahmaka, another is the magnet. So magnet, when it is there, then in its presence, all iron filings, all the nails, etc., whatever is there of the iron, everything gets pulled near it. What did magnet do? Nothing. So, ayatnopi akarta api karta, without doing anything, as if it is doing something. This is first line. What is the nature of Atma? Swarupena swayam Atma na jnaya. Atma by its nature is not jnaya, an object of knowledge. This is clear. This was established earlier. Na ajnaya. Because somebody says it is not known, then it must be unknown. So it is that no, it is not unknown. Why? It is Chaitanya Swaroopa. If there is anything for knowing which you don't have to do anything, and yet it is known, that is Atma. Because if anything else becomes known, it is only because of Atma being there. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. When it is there, then everything else becomes known, and because of its illumination, everything is known. So Atma is not Agneya. So it is not Jneya, it is not Agneya. Is it Jnata? So it is said, actually it is not Jnata. It is just there. Things become known. Then somebody may say, maybe it is Ajnata. No, it is not Ajnata also. Ajnata means not that it is not the knower, not the illuminator. It is illuminator. And the main aspect of this shloka is it karta? So it is said it is karta without doing any action. Its presence itself is called karta. It is karta. Just being there. Is it akarta? So this akartrutvam would be like because of the non-activity of the upadhi. Like if body doesn't do anything, sense organs don't do anything, antakarana doesn't do anything, then an ignorant person thinks, I am not doing anything. Atma is not akarta in that way. Because that akartrutvam is aupadhikam. Upadhis are not doing anything, therefore you feel you are not doing anything. Really speaking, you do not know the nature of Atma as akarta itself. So how am I akarta? Not whether the sense organs are functioning or not. So Atma does not have akartrutvam, non-doership, based on the non-activity of sense organs. Atma has non-doership as its nature itself. So this also should be clear. So it is neither jnaya nor agneya, nor jnata, also not ajnata. And it is not karta, but it should not be misunderstood in the wrong way as akarta. and it is also not heya upadeya. Neither it can be taken up nor it can be given up. Heya means it cannot be given up. Upadeya means it cannot be taken up. Something which is avyavaharya, without any transactional activity, and also that which is of the avilupta prakasha. Nahi drashtur drashter viparilopo vidyate. The illumination of Atma never ceases, even in the deep sleep, murcha, unconscious state, or pralaya, dissolution. Atma's illumination is always there. This is the beauty of my Swarupa. So knowing this, I become free. Further, we will see in the next session. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om.